Clark on the drive goes behind Allen back here for Clark. She will launch, draws the foul, and will shoot 3 free throws. Foul on number 8, Alana Smith. Second. Saturday afternoon in Indianapolis felt different from the very first minute. Not just because it was opening day of the WNBA season. Not just because Gainbridge Fieldhouse was sold out and rocking from the opening tip, but because of who was on the floor and because of everything that had happened in the 9 days leading up to it. Because 9 days before this game in this same building against this same Dallas Wings team, Alana Smith stepped directly into Caitlin Clark's landing zone as she rose up for a three-pointer in the preseason. And Clark came crashing down onto the hardwood, grabbing at her leg and trying to walk it off in front of a completely silent Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Smith was hit with a flagrant one. Clark shot her free throws, walked to the bench, and never came back. The basketball world held its breath for the rest of that night and through the days that followed because this is a woman who missed 31 games in 2025. Music, with lower body injuries and one wrong landing, can change everything in an instant. But Clark said she was fine. White said it was purely precautionary. Clark played against the Nigerian national team days later and looked completely healthy. And when May 9th arrived and the Fever opened the regular season against these same Wings, Clark walked out of that tunnel, warmed up, and took her place in the starting lineup. The building erupted. 9 days of anxiety released in one moment. And she was going to need every bit of that energy because Dallas brought a roster that was ready to make a statement from the very first possession. First-year head coach Jose Fernandez, 25 years at the University of South Florida before making his WNBA debut, built this team to play fast and shoot threes. Music. Becker's coming off her 2025 Rookie of the Year award. Ogunbowale is lethal as she has ever been. And AZ Fudge, the first overall pick in the 2026 draft, making her regular season debut. Music. 4 of the last 4 #1 picks on the same floor. The WNBA's 30th season could not have asked for a better opening act. So, let's get into it. Neither team wasted any time getting going. On the very first Indiana possession, before Dallas had even touched the ball, Kelsey Mitchell rose up and hit a pull-up jumper to put the Fever on the board. And the crowd reacted like she had just hit a game winner. Beckers answered immediately with a 24-footer off an Ogunbowale feed, and the tone for the afternoon was established before 2 minutes had even come off the clock. Clark got going right away. She attacked the rim off a Boston screen and finished with a layup. Drew a foul on the next possession and converted both free throws and was already operating at that made it clear she was not going to ease into this one. On the other end, AZ was moving off screens beautifully, finding her spots and making Indiana pay every time they lost sight of her for even a moment. Mitchell was simply unstoppable in the first quarter. Reverse layups, finger rolls, driving layups through contact. She accounted for 10 of Indiana's first 14 points and was making Dallas pay on every single possession she touched the ball. But Beckers kept the Wings right there, finding Siegrist for a 3, probing the paint, music, and kicking to open shooters, and making Indiana's defense account for her everywhere on the floor. When the first quarter buzzer sounded, Dallas led by 2, 27-25. 2 points after 10 minutes of some of the most entertaining basketball you will see in a regular season opener. Clark had 6, Mitchell had 10, Beckers had 5, and nobody in that building had any interest in going anywhere. Dallas built their lead in the second quarter with a 12-3 run that completely changed the complexion of the afternoon. Ogunbowale was a nightmare from the perimeter. Beckers was threading passes through traffic and creating open looks for everyone around her. And AZ kept popping off screens and making Indiana's defense make impossible choices. The Wings hit 10 of 16 threes in the first half alone and walked into the locker room up 60-51 with everything going their way. Clark changed everything in the opening minute of the third quarter. She caught the ball at the top of the key before Dallas had even organized their defense, stepped back to 26 feet, and buried a 3 that cut the deficit to 6 before the crowd had even finished settling back into their seats. The building erupted and Indiana had a pulse again. And then Clark took over in a way that nobody who was watching will forget. She scored or assisted on 12 of Indiana's first 16 third-quarter points, drilling threes, finishing in traffic, and finding Boston on perfectly timed cuts that the Wings had absolutely no answer for. The 9-point halftime deficit evaporated in minutes. 3 points, 2 points. The Fever were right there, and Gamebridge Fieldhouse was shaking. And right in the middle of that run, Clark spun through a defender and flipped a finger roll off the glass. And with that basket, history was made. She became the fastest player in WNBA history to reach 1,000 career points, 250 rebounds, and 250 assists, shattering Diana Taurasi's previous record of 62 games by doing it in 54. Tamika Catchings, a Fever legend who reached 1,000 points in her own 54th game with this franchise, was sitting in the building to witness it. The crowd rose to its feet, and Clark acknowledged it for about 3 seconds before getting right back to work. Beckers refused to let Dallas fold. Every time Indiana threatened to take the lead, she was there. A floater here, a mid-range jumper there, always making the right read, and always delivering when her team needed her most. The third quarter ended with the score knotted at 80-80, and the fourth quarter had the entire building on the edge of their seats from the opening possession. Dallas pushed the lead back to 5 early in the fourth, and the Wings felt like they were ready to close it out. Then Clark spotted James flopping for a foul call and made absolutely sure the entire building knew what she thought about it. She got right in James's face and called her out directly. No hesitation, no backing down. And the energy inside Gamebridge Fieldhouse completely shifted in an instant. Indiana fed off that fire, and came roaring back. Mitchell dragged the Fever back to within one with an and-one layup, and then a cold-blooded step-back three. Then Boston stripped the ball from Beckers in the open floor, pushed it coast to coast, and laid it in to make it 101-100. One-possession game, a minute and a half left. Dallas made the plays they needed to when it mattered most. Smith hit a layup, Sims made a free throw, Clark stepped back from 31 feet after Beckers flew by her and let it fly. It hit the back of the rim. Mitchell's half-court heave at the buzzer was just short. The Wings held on. Dallas Wings 107, Indiana Fever 104. Mitchell led everyone with 30 points and was the best offensive player on the floor from start to finish. Boston was the most complete two-way player in the game. 23 points, 9 rebounds, 3 steals. Clark finished with 20 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds across 30 minutes, while also leaving the floor twice with an apparent injury that she played through both times, breaking Taurasi's all-time record in the process and calling out a flopper in the fourth quarter for good measure. Beckers was everything Dallas needed her to be. 20 points on 8 of 10 shooting and the kind of calm under pressure that you simply cannot teach. Ogunbowale paced the Wings with 22. Sims dropped 20 off the bench against her former team, and AZ showed every bit of why she went first overall and gave Indiana problems all afternoon. Indiana falls to 0-1. But 9 days ago, Caitlin Clark was on the floor at the same building grabbing her leg after a flagrant foul from the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. And today, she played 30 minutes, scored 20 points, broke Diana Taurasi's all-time record, and launched a 31-footer at the buzzer just trying to win the game. The Fever lost, but Caitlin Clark is back, and that is the only thing that really matters heading into Game 2. Next up, a trip to Los Angeles to take on the Sparks on May 13th. Alright, that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you thought down below in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the episode if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you in the next one.